What's up, everybody? Lauren and I just graduated a week and a half ago, and so we decided to come to Ireland, and it's been a real adventure. We've been to a ton of different places and done a ton of different things. It's been absolutely amazing. If you ever get to come to Ireland, do it. Definitely come to Ireland. Here's a little B-roll from our trip so far. I think it's a little bit windy right here, so let's make a move. Yeah, so on our last day here in Ireland, we're lucky enough to stay at the lodge at Ashford Castle. We couldn't stay at the castle, it was a little bit out of our price range, but the lodge is just as beautiful. It's just a beautiful place. The grounds are amazing. We got to go horseback riding earlier, and tonight we're eating dinner in the dungeon of the castle, so that's super exciting. Here's some B-roll from Ashford because it's such a beautiful place, and everybody should come here when they come to Ireland, I think. So as you can tell, this place is absolutely stunning, and we're having the best time ever. Ireland is one of the most beautiful places that I've ever been as a whole. The cliffs were amazing. The Gap of Dunlow, oh, so beautiful. It's just been an amazing trip, once in a lifetime type thing. Now we gotta head back to the lodge for dinner. We have dinner in the dungeon tonight, so it should be super good. Maybe we'll get to show you a little bit around the castle tonight. Well, dinner was amazing last night. It was so good, but sadly our time here has come to an end, and so it's time to head out and leave the lodge and leave the castle, and time to head to the airport and head back to America. All right, we'll see you there. Well, it's the end of our trip. We're here at the airport getting ready to head back to Chicago, and we're kind of bored, trying to kill a little bit of time while we're here. Yeah, and so we thought we'd talk to you guys about what was also a little bit different on the trip in Ireland compared to in the United States. One big thing that was different was the service. We totally didn't know how the service worked in Ireland or anything like that, but whenever we would go to a bar or a restaurant or anything like that, the service was just totally different, because in the United States they're like right there with you. They're coming to your table all the time, expecting you to need things, to get refills, things like that. Well, here you don't get refills, which we learned that. But number two, the service is just really different. I would say slow, probably. Non-existent almost, but not in a bad way. It's just that it's totally different than what we expected.
But the people are super nice and helpful, and as soon as we got in a cab from the airport, like, the guy was so willing to help us and list a bunch of stuff to do.
Yeah,
and
he gave us driving tips because it was our first time driving on the left side of the road, so we had no idea how to go about doing that. I mean, we had read online.
And Beyonce.
Oh yeah, to help us remember to be on the left side of the road. He told us to sing the Beyonce song, "To the left, to the left." everything you own in the box to the left. Anyways, so we thought that was really funny. All the cab drivers that we had were really great, and they were fantastic. The bus drivers were not as nice, but the cab drivers said they probably wouldn't be because they're in a hurry. They got to get from point A to point B, so they're always hurrying around and not really caring about who's walking on the road or where they're walking or anything like that, or any other cars on the road for that matter. Or people, yeah. It was just a little different there, but I guess that's similar to like being in New York or being in Chicago, so we were used to that a little bit from our travels, but it was still different. Yeah, and we were talking about how driving was a little bit different being on the left side of the road, and we got all the good advice, but it was definitely different once we got out into the country and the roads were super tiny like this one. But the views were absolutely amazing. We could drive, what, an hour or something like that, and every hour there was some new amazing view that we could see. And so it was just so awesome to be able to rent a car and be able to drive around on our own schedule rather than taking a bus. But I will say the rental car was the only part of our experience which was probably not the best in the world. It was, we didn't love our experience with our rental through Dan Dooley and Enterprise, but yeah, we just had some excess charges that we weren't told about and that shouldn't have happened, and they tried to make us pay, and it was less than fun. But I will say we were thankful we rented a car just because of what we were able to do, because we were able to go to, what, 6 different cities? Yep. Six different cities in a week. We were able to drive into the mountains, we were able to drive to the cliffs, we were able to go down to Cobb, right? Cobb?
The one with the boats.
Yeah, where the Titanic picked up its last passengers. So that was kind of cool to see all that stuff. They had a Titanic museum that we sadly didn't get to go into, but it was really neat to be able to see all of that. And when we were driving everywhere, there were sheep at every single corner as soon as you got into the country, which we had expected. Some of the stereotypes about Ireland are true. The people are super nice, the sheep are everywhere, and there are bars on every corner. So if you need a drink, just walk 500 feet if you're in a city or a small town for that matter, and there'll be a bar.
And it's socially acceptable to drink at all times of the day.
Yeah, we would go get breakfast at 9 a.m. and people would be getting a beer, getting a pint. Yeah, so that was kind of different, but it was cool nonetheless. And one helpful tip that we found out at the very end of our trip on the second to last day is you can get these little cards. Yeah, and with these cards, basically we found out every price in Ireland includes tax already, and since if you're coming here and you're not a citizen of the EU, then you don't have to pay tax, and with these nice little cards you can get all the money that you paid in tax back. So when a price says it's 49 euro, that already includes tax. So when you get to the register, you pay 49 euro, but as long as you use the card, you'll get a percentage of that back on your credit card at the end of the trip, which we thought was
nice.
Yeah, and it would have been good to know before we spent all our money and didn't have a card. Oh well. But overall, it was a great trip. I'd say, would you give it 2 thumbs up?
I'd give it 2 thumbs up.
Give it 2 thumbs up. It was a fantastic trip, and we were really thankful to come and really thankful to just be able to be here on this once-in-a-lifetime trip. And yeah, so now I guess we're gonna get on the flight and head back to Chicago. But thanks for watching this video. Please like it below, and please feel free to subscribe. It would be awesome to have you join in this journey with me. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.